Well, good morning to Daily Reflections here on the 10th of July. Just want to send my apologies for not being able to put out yesterday's one because we had a few technical issues here. But we're talking about 1 Corinthians and we're on chapter 10 and 11. And this morning I want to talk to you about things that come up in that scripture. You know, Paul was talking to the community there, and there was a bit of a problem with people who were eating food served by idols, but there were the Jewish Christians and the non-Jewish Christians who were struggling over this and arguing over this. And Paul uses a pretty sensible argument here. He said, "Well, if it causes those around you to fall, then do not do it." And this is an act of love, really, because we want to portray the message of Christ in the best way possible. Now, if it means that your fellow brother or sister is struggling because they can't eat the meat, then you must do the same, and not try to make them fall. And that's the one thing I think is really important in all our messages that we speak to people, that we do it with love, and we understand that that they're on their journey too. That doesn't mean that we stop doing the things that God has asked us to do. It just means that our walk is slightly different to theirs. And then in chapter 11, it talks about worship. And you know, sometimes when we can walk into our worship meetings on a Sunday, we can get quite caught up in the routines that we know and are familiar with. And yet we don't really take that much notice of those that come into our meetings for the first time. And they may find some of our behaviours very, very strange. But that doesn't mean that we are not to reach out to them and to love and to explain what we do. But a lot of people who come and see us on a Sunday don't see the same happening on the rest of the week. And as we reach out and look at these passages in 1 Corinthians more, we'll understand that it's the love of God that gives us the privilege to be able to mix and worship with others. And it also means that we have more diversity, so we can bring a message to all people. You know, sometimes we can get caught up in a cliquey little group and we end up just seeing each other and not really reaching out to the lost world. So they're my sort of reflections for the day. How do we behave around others when their traditions and everything else are different to ours? And secondly, when we're worshipping God, how does that reflect on those around us? And are we considerate of those around us? Or do we just want to keep it all to ourselves? So they're my thoughts for today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we'll be talking about chapter 12.